think there's a couple of people coming.
Looks like we're ready. Please stand when you're able, and we'll sing our joy song. Good morning. Welcome to Valley Community Church Divine Science. Well, it's cold outside. It's real cold, but we're going to bring warmth to the inside today by our fellowship and our friendliness with each other and our message that we're going to hear. If you have your cell phone on, now would be the time to turn it off or to turn it to mute. And today our guest musicians, Randy Walker and Miriam McConnell. And our at-one-minute reader is Pam Woods. Pam.
Good morning. I have a haiku sandwich for you this morning. And the first piece of bread is, taking this all in, to have it is to dust it, the mote in my eye. And I'm going to read you a couple of excerpts from the U.S. National Library of Medicine. From the Journal of Environmental and Public Health. Ready? Environmental medicine generally addresses environmental factors with a negative impact on human health. However, emerging scientific research has revealed a surprising positive and overlooked environmental factor on health. Direct physical contact with the vast supply of electrons on the surface of the Earth. Boom. Modern lifestyle separates humans from such contact. Research indicates such a disconnect may be a major contributor to physiological dysfunction and unwellness. Reconnection to the Earth's electrons has been found to promote intriguing physiological changes and subjective reports of well-being. And this is why I chose this passage, because of this word. Omnipresent throughout the Earth's environment is a surprisingly beneficial yet overlooked global resource for health maintenance, disease prevention, and clinical therapy, the surface of the Earth itself. It is an established, though not widely appreciated fact, that the Earth's surface possesses a limitless and continuously renewed supply of mobile electrons. Mounting evidence suggests that this potential can create a stable, internal, bioelectrical environment for normal functioning of all body systems. Cool. Did you get that? Repeat that.
What a good student.
And the top the sandwich is this little haiku. Clouded mind, dead stop, I went down to the river. The sound was enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
nice. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pam. Our first hymn, if you'll stand with me, is hymn number 67, Ever in God's Presence, verse 1 and 3. Hymn number 67, Ever in God's Presence, verse 1 and 3.
This morning, I want to read from, this is Mark, the 11th chapter, the 24th verse. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. How many times have you heard that? Lots. Lots and lots and lots of times. And yet when we pray, sometimes our prayers aren't answered. So what I would like to suggest is that you spend a little time imagining how it would be if your prayers were answered. Get into it. Think about the feeling of it and the experience of it. Visualize it. And then you can begin to pray about it in a way that engages all of you. It isn't just a prayer, oh please let this happen, or have her do that, or whatever. You are engaging another portion of yourself, not just the intellect. You're engaging feelings. And that is what brings forth that blessing, that good, that opportunity that you want. Now, how better to do this than first imagine it, shape it in your mind, and ask with feeling. Always, 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 however, with the proviso, either this or something greater and grander, Father. Because we see this much, and yet there is this much, and God knows all of this. He knows whether it would be a blessing and a benefit, or it would be a terrible burden, it would be a mistake, it would cause you pain. He knows. So always leave the final decision to Him, absolutely willingly, absolutely with a sense that, sure, you do what you know is best, beloved. You know what will bring the greatest good to me and through me to others. That's real good advice. That is wonderful advice. Thank you. From the book of Mark. What things soever you desire when you pray, believe, imagine, feel, make up the scenario, expect, give thanks, pray, that you will receive them and you will have them. Let's say our divine science statement of being. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am the individualized expression of God and am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
So nice to see you all this morning. Take a moment to think about people that you've been blessed with in your life. Might be a teacher, might be a neighbor, might be a pastor, might be a stranger, but someone that came along in your life and just was a blessing that made a difference that you'll always remember. I was thinking about some of those people in my life and then realized that God has given me, as He has given all of you, talents and gifts and special qualities, and you could be that someone for somebody else. So that's what this song is called, I Could Be That Someone. Someone stood beside me when others walked away. Someone cheered me up, they knew just what to say. Someone held their arms out to catch me if I fell. I could be that someone for somebody else. Someone took the time to help me work it out. Someone gave me faith to overcome my doubt. Someone cared enough to ask me how I felt. I could be that someone for somebody else. What I say and what I do makes a difference. I can choose, oh, I can choose. Someone took my hand when I had lost my way. Someone helped me out when I had no way to pay. Someone gave me courage to do it myself. I could be that someone for somebody
someone, for somebody else.
Anything in the prayer box? Thank you. Time to take a deep breath and let it out as slowly as possible. Scanning the body and deliberately releasing any tensions anywhere. And they hide, those tensions hide in surprising places. Sometimes our foreheads or jaws, shoulders, they're often guilty. Arms and hands or backs. Release them all. Let them go. No need to hold them. For right now we give them over to that infinite source of solutions, knowing that we will be inspired, led, nudged into what we can do to be of help. But right at this moment, we are being inspired, nudged into seeking to be of help to the people whose names I hold in my hand. Pain, much pain, confusion, fear, anxiety. I can hardly hold it up for the weight of what I hold in my hand. So we hold each and all of these, as well as all those on our Valley Community Church prayer list, in the presence, in the healing love, in the creative activity, in the amazing solutions that can and will come forth as we trust, as we believe, as we know that all is possible in God. We especially hold in mind today all those who are employees of our government, who are not being paid, who are in a state of fear and anxiety for how they're going to cover their bills, put food on the table, care for their children or their elders. Today, we affirm that there is that perfect solution. Although we are unable to see it, perhaps there are things going on in places that we know not of, where solutions can be brought to bear on this national situation. Our hearts go out to them. And our prayers prayers. Surround and support each. And bring forth solutions where ego is put aside and the well-being of so many others is put ahead. If there are such issues in our own lives, then these too we hold in consciousness and give thanks. Why give thanks? Such weighty matters, such painful matters. Why give thanks? Because in giving thanks, we are placing our faith in that which never ever lets us down, in that which has the power to bring forth exactly what is needed. So today, we hold in mind whatever seems ponderous and difficult, brings forth a huge question mark in our minds and a heaviness in our hearts. And we say thank you. Thank you for ourselves individually. Thank you for all those who are government employees and face a lack of remuneration. All those whose names I hold in my hand, all those who are on our Valley Community Church prayer list. We give thanks, absolutely certain, absolutely peaceful and at ease, knowing that we're going to the top. We're going to the head honcho, the source, the fountainhead of all good, all right action, all solutions, all positive creativity. In the 90 seconds of silence that we're going to have, just give thanks. Generate gratitude. Soak in it. Let it fill every cell and atom of you. And through the power of gratitude, through God's power in and through you, around you, through others, throughout this whole country and this whole world, blessings are coming forth. Solutions. Good. Start right now. unto me, all ye who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Let's accept the invitation. Let's sit on God's lap. Let's feel his arms around us. Let us know that all is well. And whatever seems so large right now is becoming a thing of the past. No longer causing us any anxiety or fear or discomfort or unhappiness, because God's in charge. And all is well, whether we see it, hear it, know it, or not. Beloved Father and Mother God, thank you that it is so. Amen. And now, shall we say the affirmative version of the Lord's Prayer together? Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed is thy name. Thy kingdom is come, thy will is done on earth as it is in heaven. Thou givest us this day our daily bread. Thou forgivest us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Thou leadest us not into temptation, but dost deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Today, my talk is entitled The Long View. The Long View. Actually, this morning's talk is the result of someone's request that I speak about near-death experience. It's specifically the experience of a certain man by the name of Mellon Thomas Benedict. Now, if you have something that you would like to hear spoken about, come talk to me sometimes, okay? Some people are really interested, fascinated by this whole subject of NDEs, near-death experience. Others are not really convinced of its legitimacy. Other people just don't know anything about it. And still other people feel like, look, I've got enough to handle here and now. I'm not going to try to worry about what happens or may not happen, may happen or may not happen after I die. Well, I'm bringing up the subject today because there is so much to learn about living in near-death experiences. So much that if we hear it and heed it, can change our lives for the better, right where we are. Now, there are a number of people will become very uncomfortable, some of them, on the subject of death, and some of them made kind of funny remarks about it, like Woody Allen, who said, it's not that I'm afraid to die, it's just that I don't want to be there when it happens. One man said, a friend of mine stopped smoking, drinking, overeating, and chasing women all at the same time. It was a lovely funeral. Jerry Seinfeld remarked, according to most people, people's number one fear is public speaking. Number two is death. Death is number two? Does that sound right? This means to the average person that if I go to a funeral, you're better off in the casket than you are giving the eulogy. Okay. Actually, to people who belong to a very fundamentalist, conservative belief system, the subject of death is probably terrifying because there's no assurance that something you did or did not do, either purposely or inadvertently, has condemned you to eternal punishment. Praise the Lord. Divine science does not believe in eternal punishment. We're so enormously blessed because we are assured that that which follows our last breath is more wonderful than we can imagine. It's filled with love and peace and ever greater opportunity for growth and understanding. But the experience of Mel and Thomas Benedict can teach us so much about what we can do or avoid in our lives right now that is going to make our life so much more wonderful an experience. This is practical stuff. Mel and Thomas was an atheist. He was a self-centered artist. He thoroughly believed that humankind was a cancer on the face of the earth. He was one of these people who was a news junkie, and certainly during the Cold War, he was reading and absorbing all of the negativity of that time. He fully expected that his life, all life, would disappear in the atomic furnace of a Third World War. That's what he was expecting. In 1982, after about 15 or 20 years, that prevailing attitude, that hopeless belief pattern, created in him a brain cancer that was inoperable. The doctors told him if they tried to operate on him, it would turn him into a vegetable. So he opted for alternative healing methods, and one after another they did not help, they did not help. So he ended up in hospice care, and one morning he died. Whereupon he had an out-of-body experience. He found himself standing beside the bed looking at his dead body. But then he turned, and there was the light. It's irresistible. It's absolutely consuming love, and he was moving toward it. It was that irresistible attraction. But before uniting with it, he said to himself, wait a minute, I want to think about this. I want to talk to you about things before I go. And to his surprise, everything stopped. Came to a screeching halt right at that point. And the light started answering all of his questions. This death experience had become interactive. Now, other people who have studied near death say that this is the only such experience that has been reported to them, where somebody stopped and said, wait a minute. But he realized in talking to the light that it was his own higher self, the oversoul, which is a conduit to our divine source. The oneness which really connects everything all the time. Mel and Thomas Bernard was a real curious guy because he kept asking questions and he kept being shown the answers. Too much, to his great surprise actually, he was shown that souls are beautiful beyond description. Your soul and mine is beautiful beyond description. He was told that no soul is evil. Terrible things happened to people that made them do evil things, but their souls were never evil. The light said that what all people seek, what sustains them, is love. What distorts people is a lack of love. And when you think about it, that fits in very, very easily and comfortably, objectively and sensibly into all the untoward and difficult and terrible things that do happen in our world. The revelations from the light just went on, and he asked the light, "Are you God?" And the light answered, "Who and what is not God?" Think of our cornerstone saying the same thing. And he asked, "Does it mean that humankind will be saved?" And then, like a trumpet blast, this great light answered him, "Remember this and never forget. You save, redeem, and heal yourself. You always have, you always will. You are created with the power to do so from before the beginning of the world." Mel and Thomas in that moment realized that we've already been saved. We've saved ourselves because we were designed to self-correct like the rest of God's universe. He thanked the light of God with all his heart when he understood that. Oh, there were so many revelations that followed concerning the whole universe because he traveled out into the universe. And finally, he found himself in the void. That is, before creation, before the Big Bang. He found himself there. He described the void as less than nothing and yet more than everything that is. It's absolute zero, yet it's all possibilities. It is all-encompassing consciousness. Science has a label for this void. It's called the zero-point field, and whenever they try to measure it, their instruments go off the scale. Our bodies, all material things, the universe, is filled with this greater consciousness, which is exploring itself through all of us and all things. God is right here, right now. Doesn't that sound familiar? Haven't you heard something like that in this room before? Mel and Thomas experienced and has described so much more than that was revealed in his near-death experience. And he requested, what a smarty, he requested and was granted full remembrance of his experiences at that time. He awoke after about 90 minutes of no pulse, no respiration, no heartbeat, and a body that was stiff and inflexible. He tried to move, and he fell out of bed, whereupon his hospice caretaker came rushing in and found him. Within 3 days, he was feeling fine. Within 3 months, the doctor pronounced him completely free of cancer. He had no more cancer. Oh, there's so much more that he experienced that's available online about his NDE. Look it up. Mela Thomas Benedict. It's quite a read. It's fascinating, though, that so much that the near-death experiencers, what they report, is so remarkably consistent. And it's consistent despite the experiencers' age, whether young or old, their cultural beliefs, what kind of beliefs they were raised in, their education, or where in the world they happen to have this experience, what the geographic location was. They all describe God as radiating incredible love, light, grace, and acceptance. And then they go on to describe what is important to God. Never material things. Not money, not degrees or titles. No. Those are insignificant. What is important to God are the loving things you do for others from your heart. It's your kindness to strangers. It's kindness to those in need or to friends and family. It's your concern and care for animals. It's watering your garden, believe it or not. It's all those little things that nobody else sees or notes, pays any attention to. Every expression of love, care, kindness, compassion, that's what's important in God's eyes. Love is the basis of it all. NDEers learn that every word, every thought and action, no matter how small, affected everyone and everything else. One woman, when she was 17, worked at a convalescent hospital after school. And she became fond of this toothless old woman who couldn't speak clearly and who never had any visitors and did a lot of drooling. Others in the hospital kind of avoided her. She didn't want to be here. But this girl gave her special attention and affection. And during her NDE, she felt with amazement as if every loving spirit in God's kingdom was thanking her in unison. By the same token, those who hurt others in word or deed, who criticize, condemn, or think ill of others, were made to feel the pain they caused these people and all those emotionally connected to those who were hurt. They felt the pain. These mistakes were revealed by the light to those who made them. But at the same time, as this life review was going on, they were lifted, surrounded, and supported with unconditional love themselves. Emanuel Swedenborg is perhaps a familiar name, which can't place exactly who or what he did, but he was a great 18th century Swedish theologian, a scientist, inventor, philosopher, and most of all, he was a mystic. Swedenborg said that we need to live not a secluded life, not just staying off by ourselves, but a life in the world where we behave, and I quote, honestly, with verity in every duty, every affair, every task, from our deeper nature, and therefore a heavenly source. We can be motivated by that heavenly source. We have but to be open to it. Now, Howard Storm, who was a near-death experiencer, wrote this: God's not particularly interested in material success in this world, but he's interested in our relationships, how much we love one another. That's what God cares about. And if you are doing your very best, no matter how humble it is, to love one another, God is extremely pleased with what you're doing. One woman had been abused really by her stepmother. In her NDE, she saw her stepmother's struggles, insecurities, her fears, that she herself had been abused when she was growing up, and she was filled with compassion for this woman. Seeing the depth of her pain and her stepmother's problems, she was filled with understanding and love and forgiveness. A forgiveness that she didn't think she could experience, but it was there. As the French say, to know all is to forgive all. Another experiencer wrote this: in this non-physical state of being, there is a profound sense of belonging. Everything about everyone that exists is not only accepted, but admired, respected, recognized, and celebrated. We are each intrinsically valuable, and everything we experience matters, not just to ourselves, but to each other and to God. Yet another one wrote, we are the projected children of the mind of God, the Spirit made flesh. We are the expression of the Spirit, and ultimately co-participants of creation in an ever-increasing, ever-expanding, ever-diversified, unceasing continuum. We are co-participants in creation. Another one said, my experience is that we are always within and expressions of God. Within and expressions of God, which is a beautiful force of infinitely curious and creative energy and awareness. How can we be anything but perfect? We are God as much as it is us. We are created by it. We participate in and extend it, and it participates and extends us. We are each individual expressions of this single infinite awareness. We are one. Unquote. Are you hearing what I'm hearing? God is omnipresent. God is everywhere. We are one with Him, and that's what these people are saying to us as well. We have to take the long view. We have to think in terms of forever, not just now, here, what's happening. We have to take the view from our souls, our eternal dimension. The most important thing we can do to please God and bring greater happiness, health, and harmony into our own lives right now is to follow the most important teaching of Jesus of Nazareth, to love God with our entire being, heart, soul, mind, and strength. Practice it. Try it. Push yourself to do it. And certainly, as important, to love yourself, to stop criticizing yourself, to stop putting yourself down, to see that greater good within yourself, and to see it in everyone you contact. Look with God's love at everyone and everything. Positive intention, kindness, consideration, openness, and being a conduit of God's love always and in all ways is what is absolutely important right now and from now on. Shall we go within? Let it be so. Let us think and act in terms of love. Not ego, not what we can get, not what other people think of us, but how much can I bring love into the situation? Can I bring compassion and understanding, faith in others, patience? Every day, to bring the best of ourselves, to bring that non-physical, that eternal dimension into our decisions, into our words and acts, is the healthiest, happiest, most wholesome way to live. Oh, beloved father, mother, friend, companion, help us, each and all, to remember and to act to please you in everything we do. Amen.
Say the word and you'll be free. Say the word and be like me. Say the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard the word is love? It's so fine, it's sunshine, it's the word love. In the beginning I misunderstood, but now I got it and the word is good. Spread the word and you'll be free. Spread the word and be like me. Spread the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard the word is love? It's so fine, it's sunshine, it's the word love. Everywhere I go I hear it said, in the good and the bad books that I have read. Give the word a chance to say that the word is just the way. It's the word I'm thinking of, and the only word is love. It's so fine, it's sunshine, it's the word love. Now that I know what I feel must be right, I'm here to show everybody the light. Say the word and you'll be free. Say the word and be like me. Say the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard the word is love? It's so fine, it's sunshine, it's the word love. Say the word love. Say the word love. Say the word love. Say the word love.
If I say love.
Now's the time, the blessings of the gifts. If you'll turn to your orders of service, and you can follow with me and recite with me. Today, I acknowledge God, omnipresent, as the source of all good, as the source of my good.
With this acknowledgement, I accept His will, which is abundance in every aspect of my life. I release all thoughts of lack and limitation, and I am open and receptive to the increased flow of abundance to me right now. I joyfully accept the gifts of life and give freely of the special gift that I am. Through me, God omnipresent blesses and multiplies this gift for all. Thank you, dear God.
Good morning. Morning. Well, it seems like we haven't been here forever. Missing 1 week was like awful, so we're trying to do that again. Lots of announcements, so sit back because we weren't here last week, so and I'm trying to shorten them up a little bit. Next Sunday, the 27th, we're having an ecumenical service, prayer service at the Oak Grove Church of the Brethren at 4 o'clock. Did you need to say anything about that, or?
Yeah, it's right across the street, across 419. And I'm going to be taking part.
Okay. We don't need to take any snacks or?
No, don't have to take any.
Okay, all right, so, and I'll be,
Oak Grove Church of the Brethren? Yes. Yeah, they're part of the group that does that. Now, the Lutheran folks down the street, I understand, cannot take part. It's part of their rules. You can't be ecumenical. But it's the Catholic Church and the Brethren and the Methodists and the Presbyterians and us.
so it'll be next Sunday at 4 p.m. and I'll be announcing it again during the week and I'll again next Sunday, so we won't forget about that. Also, they sent out an email, Maurita passed this on, they have a Peace and Justice Committee that they have ongoing. If anyone's interested in that, please see me, I have the information that I can give you for that.
That's how to bring greater peace and justice to the community. It's a service to the community, I understand.
Okay, also starting, we have a box already, but always in February we do soup and crackers for the senior citizens. Martha's already made the box, so we will be collecting through the 8th of February for that. So, and there's other things also on the list besides soup and crackers. I think Martha made a list out there, so you can look at that. But we always do that for February for the senior citizens. Also, next Sunday after the church service, we will have our congregational meeting. It shouldn't last very long. We don't have a whole lot to talk about, but anyhow, we will. We're supposed to have been done in December, but because of the weather and because of some ill health, we postponed it till this month. Also, Nancy wanted me to let you know that the Healing Circle will be this Thursday night at 6:30. If by some chance we have to cancel it, of course, we will let everybody know ahead of time, but it will be this Thursday night at 6:30. We rescheduled the movie. We don't know for when, because every time we reschedule it, the weather, so we're going to try to hold off probably maybe till later in February or something to see what the weather does. This week's flowers are sponsored by Bob Brooks. He's not here, so I will call him and see what he wants done with them. Anyhow, Laurel also wanted me to let you know that she has your tax papers that you all need for your taxes. She will give them out next Sunday. If anybody that does them online, if you can't print them off, she said let her know, she will print it off and give it to you for that. Also, as I've told you before, the other Sunday, Ann has now got her little store set up in here for her cards, so please help yourself, not help yourself pay for them, but anyhow. As you all know, she makes beautiful cards, so anyhow, we decided that she would put them in here, and so anyhow. And Doug's going to buy a whole lot, because he's got a lot of Valentines he's going to buy for us, in case y'all don't remember, don't forget that. Also, Ann and they're making candy bars. Ann's already made some, like they did last year for Valentine's. They're $2 a bar. Doug, there's 20 in there, so get your credit card ready. So,
That's not quite enough.
well, I know, we're making more, so just so we're done.
Yeah.
Also, Amy Jo wanted to say something about the things we did at Christmas time for the kids at Addison.
So just wanted to give you a huge thank you for everything you all donated. There were, gently used clothing items and new things. And the things, there's a woman who, she's the attendance officer, and then she also helps out. We're trying to build a clothes closet. She helps out with students in need. And so the things that stand out, socks were huge. And I have 16 special ed kids in my group. So I gave them each a pair of socks, a pair of gloves, the hat, toothbrushes. Whoever donated the toothbrushes, that was a huge hit. And what else? Oh, put in little packets of tissues. So some of the used items, and then someone donated little like makeup pouches that we put in gift bags for the girls. And then someone donated, this one just blows my mind. It was a pretty bracelet engraved with a positive phrase. I can't remember exactly what the phrase said, something like "I am special." But anyway, when the attendance officer told me who she gave it to, which student, I was like, oh my God, because the student had just gotten into a fight, before Christmas. In fact, she punched and broke a girl's nose. And she's just, you walk around her and she's just exuding anger. And I kid you not, I don't know if it was the bracelet, but she is the mildest thing the last couple of weeks. And so, I'm so glad. She said the girl started crying, and it just made such a huge difference for her. And then last weekend, we had a family who lost their home to a fire. So, the pots and pans, the towels, everything has just really come into, being very, very useful and appreciated. So thank you.
So we're glad we could do that, and as I told Amy Jo, maybe we can do some other things later on in the year for the kids. We help out Oak Grove with food, and so it's a community thing. That's what we do, and that's for a small church. It just amazes me what we do. So I thank all of you all each and every day for all that you do. I think that's all I had for today. One other thing. I'm hoping that this doesn't happen again. I hope we don't have to miss another Sunday because of weather. But if we do, we're going to try something different. Doug is going to do a Facebook Live sermon from home, from Wendy's house, or from wherever he may be. But anyhow, we were going to do it last Sunday, but Doug and I kind of miscommunicated a little bit. So anyhow, it's going to be something we're going to try. Also, I'm going to try to do, from time to time, do a Facebook Live. I'm testing this to see what happens, how it works. So I did it today, and actually we had a couple of people watching, so that was good. So anyhow, this is something we'll do, but the next time, if we have to miss another service, Doug's going to do, he's already got it prepared. He doesn't have to even do his sermon next. But anyhow, he's going to do it. Don't look so surprised. Anyhow, so that means at least we'll have a little message, because I felt like lost all this past week because we didn't have service. So I know somebody at church, at work the other day said, and I'm not going to mention any names, but they listened to a sermon from my church in Lynchburg, and I thought, that ain't happening for me. So anyhow, I just will read or something. But anyhow, we'll try that. But I did posted it today and see what happens with today's message, and we'll take it from there. So just trying to different things to get the message out there. So okay, please.
Yeah, I believe that thing that I gave you, emailed to you, it said something about encouraging people to go out to eat after this 4 o'clock ecumenical prayer for Christian unity service. And they were encouraging people to go, together and become friends with people in other churches. And so I think that's a lovely idea for those of you who might be able to do it. And thank you for the way that fit in so beautifully.
Okay. And thank you all for the wonderful music as always. So, thank you.
Let's have our closing hymn now. It's hymn number 83, Confident Living, verse 1 and 2. Hymn number 83, Confident Living. Sing with gusto.
We make a kind of circle. We're hand in hand, and we are giving to one another our thoughts, our vibrations, our concerns, our love, our energy. We are sharing a belief in the omnipresence of God, the power of that belief, and the love that must underpin it. This day and every day, let us live to please God. Let us live with love. It heals and harmonizes and lifts us and the whole human race. Thank you, dear God, that it is so.